Hello, everybody.
Yay.
Hello.
Hello out there.
All right, this is Star Citizen StarCast episode 7 or 8, 9. I don't know what number we're on right now.
27.
27.
Run 8.
On 8. Real quick before we get too far in, how does our vocals sound? Other than mine's all scratchy and crackly. I can't. I'm starting to come down with ickiness.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
All right, guess it's okay. Well, if I'm too loud, they're too loud, whatever. Let me know, and I can turn stuff down.
How does our audio sound? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tell me how the audio sounds.
We're good.
Creepy.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm hiding the fact that I'm missing a beard.
Oh yeah, Cord lost his beard.
That's his
You're
hat.
making fart noises.
Yeah, I was ready for the fart noise. They're too loud.
I never would do that.
Okay, I'll turn.
I always been able to do like the one where you go like that.
No.
You can't?
You know, you like.
No. A grave oversight. I have forgotten something.
Cigarettes. Cord must have cigarettes.
Cigarettes.
See,
That was good.
I'm a traditionalist. If I'm going to make fart noises, I use my butt.
It's pretty boring.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if that's traditional. Because that's just a fart. It's not a fart noise.
And if a tree farts in a forest and no one's there to smell it, does it still make a sound?
I want to know why the tree's
Point
farting.
taken.
Yeah. Okay. So hello everybody. I guess we can get started with the show. The shoe. All right. So, what's been going on with everybody? Pancakes. You had probably an exciting weekend. Tell us about your weekend.
Yay.
We're all very jealous.
I was at BlizzCon.
And you came back with that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a plushie, like a Baneling plushie?
I did not get a Baneling.
It's sad.
What was that thing? It looked like a reject from the Play-Doh Fun Factory barbershop thing.
It's the Queen of Blades. It's the Queen of Blades.
Oh, it's Kerrigan. Okay,
with a
sorry.
big head.
You guys are super different.
Oh,
there's the plushie.
it's a Baneling plushie? Or no, it's a Zergling plushie.
Wait, right now it's a Zergling.
Oh, but you can turn it into a Baneling? Oh, that is so pro. You're watching as he turns his Baneling inside out.
They're all in wrapped.
Actually, oh my god, you can flip it into a Baneling? You're kidding.
That is awesome.
I thought
That
he was
is
just
awesome.
I thought he was just gonna stick C4 to it and make it go Baneling like that.
I
Put
so
C4
want
on it, stick it on a tire.
My kid, my son wants one too. He loves Banelings. They're so cute.
Oh, how adorable.
It is.
So tell me, Pancakes, you did get more than one, yes?
No.
What?
How much were they?
I don't know. I didn't get it. It's my brother's.
Oh, it's your brothers. Okay. All right. Well, Pancakes had some fun going on. What about you, Trenday? Anything exciting going on this weekend?
Oh, this past week I was dog sitting.
Oh, that's
so I
exciting.
spent many hours at the dog park. Yeah, it was actually. There was a few very cool dogs and a few very not so cool dogs, and most of them were just absolutely just what I would term as catastrophically retarded, which we usually just abbreviate to DERP.
Derp.
So
You had a couple of derp dogs.
Oh
Derpy
man,
dogs.
like the ones who drop their ball, because you got these buckets of water all around the fountains and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and he would drop the tennis ball in the thing and chew on it and squeeze until it fills with water and then sinks to the bottom. Then he gets his forelegs, his head, and his shoulders into the bucket to try to reach down to the bottom, and he forgets that he's not supposed to breathe underwater. So he's like water spraying everywhere.
Oh.
Oh, retarded dogs. Oh my god. All right, Core, what's up with you?
Wedding things. I was almost late for this podcast because we were still drafting up legal shit. The in-laws have finally arrived on Monday, and my fiance has been been stressed.
Oh my god, hell yeah. Right before the wedding like this? You're lucky you even get to do a podcast.
Yeah, I've been really, really busy with that, but hopefully after Friday, this part of the marriage will be over.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what I've been busy with. That's all I'm really doing.
How about you, Perfekt? What's up with you?
So this weekend I was glued to the WCS finals for the most part. I did watch the Hearthstone stuff. Yeah, I'm super jealous that Pancake's got to go to BlizzCon Live.
I know, right? And he got signed Maru cars and signed
Duck.
Yeah.
Duck. Yep.
But no signed SOS. Bad Pancakes. Bad.
No, I did get a picture of White Raw though, so that was pretty awesome.
Okay, cool.
That's awesome. Yes. Protoss love. Lots of Protoss love on this podcast, actually.
Mm-hmm. I'm a TOS player myself. And I'm so happy that SOS proved to the world that TOS actually can stand on their own two feet. But with a little bit of contention, he did cheese a bit. Just a little.
Yeah.
Just
Mind games.
Mind games. Okay, yeah. The canon, I would call it a mind game. Other people call it cheese.
As Boxer said, he will do anything to win.
Yeah. I mean, who's walking out of that room with all that money? You can bitch that he's cheesing, but he did walk out of the room with all that money.
But obviously, we wanted J-Dog to win.
There is no such thing as cheesing in competitive gaming. Anyone who calls it that is not a competitive player.
Right. All right, so enough of that stuff. Let's get on to the Star Citizen stuff.
The other star.
We're talking about Star Citizen?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Star Citizen.
Oh my
God.
God.
Yes, let's do it. So, from last week, what is new? We just passed 2,700,000.
What? No.
$27 million.
Yes.
Every single week we're just every single week we're
real
just
spaceships now.
Yeah, we all get real spaceships.
We'll
we're getting to the point we can almost purchase a real spaceship at this point.
We'll hit 30 million on the 25th.
Okay, that's okay. We'll call this our next stretch goal for this podcast, and we need all the fans to do it. You have to go over to Twitter and follow Elon Musk. Okay, ELON-MUSK. He's the guy that owns
Fisker.
Tesla.
Tesla.
And he is also very heavily involved with the Dragon spacecraft and everything else. Tell him he has to come and watch this podcast so that when we hit the 30 million stretch goal, we all get spaceships.
Mm-hmm. Electric spaceships.
Yes.
100% electric spaceships. Uses no bad chemicals or nuclear power.
Don't want to dirty space up.
Yeah, Cyberwolf just said he's a real life Tony Stark.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Elon Musk, but he's got that bad name.
Musk. I think it's kind of a cool name. Yeah. I think it's very space age name.
The only thing he's missing is his shield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
so Jack.
We passed 27 million. Let's see what's new with the next stretch goal or this stretch goal. What did we hit? We got a new ship, right?
We got a new ship, which we'll be discussing in real super detail. Banu Merchantman, which is
going to be for sale on the 25th.
Going to be for sale on the 25th. You heard
along with
there.
the Xeon ship, even though they have not confirmed the Xeon ship being in the sale, because of the way they worded the Banu Merchant going for sale on the 25th, it is highly likely that the Xeon ship will also be for sale.
That Banu Merchantman is one big, badass-looking ship. I
Yes.
mean, it looks way bigger to scale than the Constellation, than even the
Starfarer.
Yeah, the Starfarer. It's huge.
Yep. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, I'm sorry.
There you go.
All right, so we
topic.
we got he just outlined the $29 million stretch goal, which is an enhanced mission design for Squadron 42. They're gonna beef that up, so we're gonna talk a little bit more about Squadron 42 and one of our topics.
Poor brother.
What's that now?
Chris Roberts' poor brother.
What about his poor brother?
He runs Foundry 42.
Oh.
So it's like,
he has to, because Chris Roberts has never finished anything in his life.
It's like the lesser Chris Roberts.
Well, Aaron Roberts has finished every single one of Chris Roberts' games, so the fact that he's here means we'll actually see a game at some point.
Yes, absolutely agree with that.
Yep. So, what else from last week? I guess that's pretty exciting as stands that right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. This a bunch of articles which are basically saying the same thing. Can people stop ever giving money to Star Citizen?
Is it ever going to end?
Well, Domo, you said that it's getting to the point where it's $1 million a week, and they're just going to have to really start stepping up their game.
I was joking about that because that's just ridiculous.
Why?
Well, like a couple of podcasts ago, we did already discuss that even though the stretch goals that they're putting out there don't really cover $1 million cost, eventually they're going to come out with some bigger thing that they're like, all right, well, all these tiny stretch goals over the last 10 million have only really cost us 2 million. So the next one will be like an $8 million project or something like that. It will happen eventually, but maybe not in the next couple of millions that we're going to see.
Yeah, eventually. I mean, they got to move out of that attic that they're in too.
They're doing that right now.
They need a space station-looking building with lots of glass.
Hey, that new Apple building they're building just down the street.
Yeah. They need an Apple-like building.
They could just move into
conquer it.
Or they could move into the NSA building that they just built for $2 billion. I mean, we could use that for Star Citizen.
It's got lots of sci-fi techie stuff.
It has all the equipment. They can literally tune into our brains to see what we want from Star Citizen, and they can put it in the game.
And how much more we're willing to pay.
Exactly.
Millions.
1 million. Some Firekin just asked, have I ever tried the game Mighty Quest for Epic Loot? I have not. I got a key for it. I just haven't played it yet. Does it relate to Star Citizen somehow?
No.
No, actually nothing. But it does remind me, if you have questions, here's the 4 questions. Just put bracket question.
Thank you, Perfect Nerd. I totally forgot that this week.
Okay.
Yes, we have a question and answer session coming up a little bit later, and for that to happen, we need to have your questions. So please write whatever you want, and Trunks is usually good for about 20. So
he's already got 2 in.
He's already got 2 in, and we haven't even started the show yet.
Gives us a set amount of content that we have to go through. So.
Yeah.
And yes, Wicca, it is F2P. It is free to pose. You can pose any questions you want for free.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so let's go on to topic number 2, the Banu merchantman ship. So for those who haven't seen it, let's see. Here she be. Hi, Fredo. Thank you so much. So look at this other ships. The other ships that are next to it are the smaller ones.
The Xi'an scout ships.
The scout ships. And there's a scale image of a humanoid character standing next to it on the screen here. And, it's about, I would say, 20, 30 feet tall. Maybe a little.
And yes, for those of you in the chat, that is indeed not the Banu merchant ship. It's the Xi'an capital ship.
Oh. I had it wrong, huh?
Yes, that is the Xi'an capital ship.
I got it from the newsletter.
No, in the newsletter, it had the Xi'an capital ship. They spoke about it. Yeah. They spoke about it in one sentence.
It's misleadingly placed, but it said this is the 29 from another stretch goal. This is the picture of the Xi'an capital ship.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's my fault. I'm the one who gave you the picture.
It's my fault because I wasn't here for the warm-up.
Okay.
You have an excuse.
Yeah,
You're dying on Friday. You have an excuse.
Your life is ending.
Why don't you guys talk a little bit about it? I'll see if I can dig up another picture of it. Then
there is no picture for the Banu.
There's no. Okay. Because so that was a question I was having during our little warm up. I was like, "Holy crap, that's a big ship!" Like, man, that thing is massive.
That is supposed to be the size of a Bengal carrier or slightly larger because it's a capital ship.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, if you had such a thing, but that also, now knowing that it's not the thing.
Banu ship.
Thank you. And knowing that it's a capital ship, it won't be stored in your hangar, right?
Right. I was like, that's what I was wondering. How would this fit in my hangar? My freelancer looks like it's about the size of that turret sitting on top there.
Yeah.
No, that capital ship is indeed the same size or slightly larger than the Bengal carrier. The Bengal carrier is technically not considered a capital ship. It is technically considered a super carrier, although some have dubbed it capital ship, and the lines have gotten very blurry. This is supposed to be an order of magnitude even larger than that. So
it looks to be, yeah.
Consider like, let's say a battle would erupt between 1,000 players and 2 capital ships. The instances will only take part on very tiny parts along that ship, rather than all at once. And it's one of the more iconic things in the game. One of the biggest things that you could probably tell from this picture, it has no super weapon attached.
Just has a lot of guns.
That you can tell.
Yeah, but it has no super weapon attached.
Right. I mean,
I also don't see many turrets on the side, mostly in the front and in the back.
But again, because it's a Xi'an ship, it's also more maneuverable. So the idea behind it is, despite being large and bulky, it's going to be more maneuverable than, for instance, a Bengal carrier or any other capital ships that the UAE might bring.
Right, and considering the way that Xi'an ships are built, I'm thinking you could probably store more ships than the Bengal carrier could.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool looking. So we guess we'll have to wait for the Banu ship then.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we have nothing for it. All we know is that it is called that it is like the relic that all merchants want, but it is a very old ship design because it's been passed down by Banus from generation to generation to generation to generation. So we don't know if it'll actually be a very high-class technological ship, but we do know that it'll be a very large freighter.
And it won't exactly have that new ship smell.
No, it'll have the old Banu smell.
Gives it
in relation to the freelancer, how big is it, you think?
We don't currently know, but we think it's the same size as a Starfarer would be.
Oh.
So it's going to fit in the Starfarer, more in the Starfarer picture than in a Freelancer picture, because if you compare a Freelancer to a Starfarer, Freelancer's about that big and a Starfarer's about that big. So
the question of how big is it?
Simulator.
It comes from how much is it going to cost, because it almost seems like you're paying per foot for a lot of these ships.
A Starfarer, it was $175 when it first came out. Mm-hmm. After that, it was $200 or $225. So it'll probably be around the same price range as the Starfarer would be.
Cool.
If it's smaller, of course, it'll probably be along the size of a Gladiator or a Freelancer.
Well, lots of good questions coming in. Cyberwolf is going nuts. Very nice.
Great questions. Yeah,
really great questions. Can't wait to get to them. We'll get to them in just a minute. All right, so I guess that if we don't have a real good concept art to show, we really don't have much else to talk about with the Banu. So we can go ahead and move on to our next topic then. All right, topic 3, Squadron 42. All right, who wants to take us through what Squadron 42 is for people who might not know? And just kind of a quick overview, and then we can talk about what's changing for the stretch goals that they mentioned.
Just really quick, Squadron 42 is basically the single-player component of Star Citizen. It takes place before, in terms of a timeline, takes place just before the beginning of the Persistent Universe. It is, we actually don't really have any details on the story. That's sort of by design. They talked a lot about, in the 42nd episode of Wingman's Hangar, they talked a lot about sort of the systems and how they're going to build it out. But they sort of refrained from talking very much about the story. They talked about story structure, so they want it to be a kind of a branching story structure in a lot of ways, like the old Wind Commanders were, where different actions lead you down different story paths. But they're very, and I'm glad they're like this. They're actually very hesitant to talk at all about the actual story. But we will see. We will see how it goes.
I think one of the few story elements that we do know is that the actual Squadron 42, you'll have to be like an elite pilot to get into it. So if you just do the story, then you'll just be like, Squadron 43.
Well, the 42 always a reference. I'm a huge Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy Douglas Adams fan, and my online nicknames have always been for years Slarty Bart Fast or Gogol Frenchian, which are either characters or a planet from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So when I saw Squadron 42, it really hit me. I was like, I know what he's getting at.
Yeah. I named my first warlock in World of Warcraft Roomfondle. Mm-hmm. And that he's one of the guys who he posed the question. He was one of the super smart people who posed the question to the computer. Or
was it Big Think?
Asked the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Right.
I think it was Big Think, yeah.
Big Think, yeah. So, oops, kids are being noisy. Apologize. I must go beat the children. All right. So, what are they talking about with the changes? A letter from the chairman. That they're going to devote more resources to the game.
What have they been doing?
Yeah, right?
Kind of vague about it, but that's okay. I mean,
they did kind of the same thing when they were talking about the enhanced beta test. It's exactly
quick, guys, running out of ideas.
Come up with some fancy words to throw together in a sentence.
It's basically like Chris Roberts sitting in his office writing or working, and then someone coming in, we've hit the next one, and he's like, just tell him that we're enhancing the beta test. That's fine.
I believe it was the alpha that was getting advanced.
Right, whatever.
Now, eventually, though, I mean, if they're hitting 1 million a week, they're either gonna have to do like the multi-million-dollar stretch goals like they had in the beginning, or they're gonna have to do like random stuff. Like, I don't even know what they do. Like, I don't know, space porn for everybody or something. I don't know.
That could be dangerous where I'm,
I would like to see one of the $1 million stretch goals, Trendane as the voice of the computer for the AI.
Oh,
everybody
yes.
vote for that.
That would be our show stretch goal.
I was going to say, that would not take, $1 million.
Quiet.
Don't tell them that.
Let me finish my sentence. Okay. It would take 6.
Oh, 6, yeah. There we go. Go big or stay home, right?
I would probably have to go back to Texas to do it. So, yeah, the only way they're getting me back in that shithole is... I'm sorry.
Austin, well, yeah,
it's okay. He has scars from EA.
Yeah.
He's very scarred man.
Well, I grew up in Texas. I don't like that place.
Just go to California.
That's where I am.
He is there now, and he is available for work for anybody looking for a voice actor. Trendane.
Unless you want me to, do readings of songs I've never heard as Harvey Firestein.
We might do that again after this show.
Yeah, I've already had requests.
That was good last week. That was epic. Californication, yeah, that's a good one.
Actually, a lot of people maintain that California means hot sex anyway, because it's Cali from, Calus for the Latin for heat, and Fornia for fornia, so it's hot sex,
Well,
makes
I don't know.
Sense, Latin.
It makes sense, but does it make sense like saying Arizona comes from arid zone?
Yeah,
I mean, the etymology makes sense, but I don't think the historical etymology isn't there, so we don't know.
And it's a better question, by the way, Wicca, to ask, what does the fox feel? Good.
I am totally not into this Fox song.
I'm refraining from saying penis.
You just said it.
You just said
you
penis.
failed.
and then we all just said it in our heads, too.
I didn't just say it in my head. Let's
there.
Move on.
Did I say that with my outside voice?
I thought you were going to say outside mouth for a minute. Let's move on.
Yes, we're moving on. Okay, so I guess we can go ahead and get started with our Q&A time. We have a lot of good questions coming in.
Yeah.
Mr. Pancakes, can you read them off for us, please?
Let's see. Okay. All right. First one, I believe, is from Trunks. So.
Got probably 24 Trunks. And while these questions are coming in, you still can ask more questions.
All right. I pictured X's rebirth kind of travel where there are a lot of circles and each one of them going to a different jump gate, so you'd be able to drop out from the system into deep space if your jump drive was destroyed.
Say that again.
It's
so
almost
question.
If you guys got it, go ahead and answer it because I didn't get it.
His question is almost exactly the same as the one he asked last time about the jump drive being destroyed mid-warp.
So while you're still in the slipstream, that there are other exit points that you can navigate to. Is that what we're talking about?
Okay.
I think he's wondering again. Yeah, what really happens when your jump drive is destroyed? No, I don't think you can have your jump drive destroyed in mid jump.
I think that after you're jumping, that's it. You're going to end up in the next system. I don't think currently that there is a mechanic or a system that they've talked about where there is space between the jump gates. I mean,
yeah, it's like BSG style jump where you just...
The only place that they mentioned it was in Cassandra's Tears. Again, I'm sometimes loath to refer to the written lore, but I mean, if they're going to use
expert. Go ahead.
No, why I'm not.
You've read them all.
No, I haven't. I've read Cassandra's Tears, and then I jumped over to Fall of Bastion because I wanted to catch up on EverQuest 2. Yeah. But anyway, in Cassandra's Tears, when he follows, I think it's a Banu ship into the jump gate, he actually maneuvers around in front of this constellation, and while he's still inside the tunnel, I guess. He maneuvers in through the open hangar door into the constellation and starts shooting at this thing. So I mean, there's definitely time that he's inside the wormhole or whatever you want to call it, that he's maneuvering, because it's the stresses of trying to navigate and rotate his ship are starting to tear he's in one of those little like P-52 little thing that comes, that comes out of the constellation. He's flying it back in through the
hangar.
Yeah, thank you. Dang, that doohickey. So yeah,
it's magic.
Yeah,
it's magic.
Yeah, a lot of these questions you're asking are more so theoretical. We don't have a clue because we're just
they've never been addressed.
Go ask Elon Musk.
Elon Musk will have an answer for you if you can get time of day from that guy.
Yeah. But final answer. If the math works out, then yes, you can destroy jump drives in space. But the math has to work out, otherwise.
What are you drinking, Perfect Nerd? I'm thinking it's some kind of like vodka, it's soda.
It's not.
Oh.
It's just a fancy glass. Yes, it's ginger ale.
Yeah,
wow, yes. That's a good guess.
All right. Hey, hello, Barts Tale. I didn't want to ignore you. Okay. Next, go ahead, Mr. Pancakes.
All right, so when explorers are traveling in deep space and they find a new system, they have to find a gate and call the UEE for a gate activator to activate the jump gate. And
no.
Okay.
I gotta just say to that question, no.
Nothing to back it up. Just no.
It's basically if you run across a gate, it is technically activated and you can technically go through it, but the effects or the results of what will happen to your ship or whether or not there will be a minigame are to be determined. They've talked about a mechanic where you can jump through the jump gate that is unexplored, but there will be some sort of minigame mechanic where you will have to navigate through it somehow to map out the jump coordinates, and once you arrive on the other end, you have mapped out that jump gate. But again, how that works, we don't know.
Yep. And as far as we know, the minigame will... I think they've mentioned a couple of times that the minigame might have something... It'll have some reflex portion involved.
Yes.
So that it's actually... It's kind of skill-based more than just, It's not like a puzzle or anything.
So you're going to be playing Galaga.
There you go.
Yeah, I guess.
Fly back and forth and...
Yeah.
Or Zaxxon, or the trench run in Star Wars.
But again, like the trench run,
the result could also be that you jump through it and your ship is instantly disintegrated. That could happen too.
That's very likely.
That's when I did the narration for the Terra system. one of the things that it specifically mentions is that it's a very strong, stable jump gate hub, because since it's in the middle of a stellar cluster. The way I figure is that it's what I presume from the thing is that they're basically like at these gravitational Lagrange in stellar systems. Gravity just sort of twists a little bit because of the pull of these different stars all together. Yeah. Now, some of the jump points are, as it's mentioned in that galactic guide, not stable enough for you to travel through. And you try to go through that thing, you are going to get torn apart. The stable ones are basically just like, there may not be a mechanical apparatus to stabilize the tunnel at either end, but you can still tell where that gravity well is, and you can go into it and come out on the other side.
Right. And also, it should be mentioned that they have mentioned that some jump gates require a certain mass of ship to go through. So that might also act as a key to unlocking certain jump gates and mapping them out. Because if you jump through it with a small mass ship, you might get torn apart instantly. Whereas if you jump through it with a very high mass ship and the structural integrity holds up, you might be able to make it through.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns on this one. There's Lumavox has a follow-up question to that. It says, let's make it clear. First scenario, we need to travel to the physical jump gate like the X series and start your jump drives. Or the second scenario, if a ship has a jump drive installed, we can jump right away with maybe some seconds to power the thing. It's the first scenario. There's a physical jump gate. There's actually like a bending of space-time. Einstein-Rosenberg magic and
Podolsky.
No, Podolsky. We'll talk about it.
Think of it like the ones that they had in Mass Effect. I know Mass Effect had a really tiny little space thing in it, and it wasn't really something to compare it to, but think of it like that. You have multiple planets within the system, but if you want to jump out of it, you have to fly back to the little relay, and then you can jump out.
Yep.
The mass relay, yeah.
We could go on about this for hours, I'm sure.
Yeah, I watched the entire series, How the Universe Works, with Mike Rowe as the narrator, and after that, I get a better appreciation for some of the tech involved in this game.
Yeah,
it's on Netflix. If anybody has Netflix, you can watch it.
And the big thing that the big thing about designing systems for travel and communication in this game is distance, because really. The human mind doesn't really have a reference for how big a light year is. And so that's why we sort of have to invent different mechanics to be able to deal with faster than light communication and faster than light travel.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that in the design team's head, that's something they're going to have. They're trying to work around. They're trying to make it realistic so it doesn't break your immersion, because it doesn't make any sense, but they're also trying to make it so that it's going to function in gameplay.
Give you guys a little bit of an example of some real world physics here. Radio waves travel at the speed of light. Okay, so when we talk about a light year in the game or just in real life, it takes that sound. Like if I was to transmit right now to something a light year away, it would take it 1 solid year from the moment I transmitted till they received it. And if they want to send it back, it would take another year to come all the way back. Just even to Mars, it takes 18 minutes, I believe, to go
depending on which 18 to 40, depending on which side of the sun it's on.
So these are just within our own solar system, and we're talking about intergalactic travel. So that's why we're talking that some of these things are kind of magic, because it's just realistic. It won't work with even current technology or even futuristic technology that we can think of.
What they've talked about is subspace communications.
Okay, so subspace using the extra dimensional.
Yes, it's like sending a microprobe through subspace in order to deliver information within minutes rather than waiting years for the message to arrive. So again, it will be magic in that sense, because even with subspace communications, it would take minutes or, rather than years. Mm-hmm. But in the game, it'll be seconds. You know, if someone sends you a message on your mobi-glass and you're flying somewhere out in the deep ridges of space, you're going to get your message on your mobi-glass, or you're going to be able to respond to them instantly. But the lore behind it is subspace or slip space communications.
People start sending you Banu porn.
All right, next question. We took a long time on that one.
All right. Since we now have 3 flyable alien ships, the Scythe, the Xi'an, and the Banu, if the previous stance by the devs were that we're not able to play alien characters in the game due to the extra cost of making their ships flyable by humans is now a non-issue, how long do you think it will be before they announce a playable alien race?
That's a good point. That could be a really good stretch goal.
It would be a ways out, I would imagine.
Yeah.
We might be able to hit it before beta, but again, it's going to cost money. And also,
pause for a second. I guess everybody's crackling really bad.
Crackling. Crackle.
Maybe one of us is just, in a bowl of Rice Krispies and we just don't know it yet.
No.
I think all of us have to be in a bowl of Rice Krispies.
Oh, Wicked says it's fixed. Okay.
Yay.
We aim to please.
Yep. I just adjusted the volume. I guess it must have been an odd level.
We hadn't had a technical difficulty.
Yeah.
Also, we skipped a few questions for that one.
Yeah, Barts Tale just brought up a good point about the previous thing we were just talking about. Yeah, remember in Voyager, they had to use a wormhole to even talk to them across the Delta Quadrant from the Alpha Quadrant.
Yeah,
that was using a relay system.
Yeah, and they had to bounce it off of some kind of space disturbance to even get it to go.
They kind of did the same thing in Stargate, where they bridged the 2 universes with Stargates on the edge of both universes, like a relay station, where they would jump to the relay station and then jump from the relay station to Atlantis.
All right.
And the crackling, I suspect, was the front door opening as one of my housemates came home.
No, they said it was everybody, and I don't know. I just adjusted the
sound. I don't know what
they're
talking about.
They said it went away. So, if he comes back up, let us know, and I'll try to fix it again. All right, go ahead, Pancakes. Next question. Oh, no, we were talking about the alien races.
Yes, we were talking about the alien races.
So continue on that, sorry.
Whether or not, 5 alien races, there's currently 4 as far as I'm aware that we know about. It's the Banu, the Vandal, the Xi'an, and the Kurtak. Those are the ones we know about, and if you count humans, that's 5 races. Mm-hmm. And because we are all humans, it seemed like a good starting point for them to make us all humans at the start of Persistent Universe. Maybe somewhere later on they will allow you to customize your character, or like have a alien race change into a race change operation. But
well, you know that the permadeath system, the way it works is after your 3rd strike, you're dead, and the ship then goes to somebody you designate as your heir. Who's to say it could have been your crewman who has been with you forever? So you got a Banu crewman who's been with you since the beginning.
You can't currently have any crewmen other than humans.
Right. I'm just saying this is we're talking about future stretch goal, maybe.
Yes.
I'm spitballing ideas.
Now here's the thing, though. You have to think about the fact that if you want to start a Banu character, they have to flesh out all of the Banu homeworlds, and they have to flesh out. The level of detail that they put into UEE space, they have to put the same level of detail into Banu space and Xi'an space, etc., in order to start characters there, and they haven't done that. And that's a huge undertaking. I mean, they already have 105 systems to work on as it is, with all their different planets. So there's definitely going to be some work going into that. I mean, that sounds like something that you do for an expansion, not just
that'd be a good expansion.
It'll definitely.
Real quick, guys, I'm gonna start the stream. Stop it and start it up again because they're saying everyone's crackling really bad. So
it might be Twitch. I'll go check that in the meantime.
Yeah, I'll be right back, guys. Hold on.